Once upon a time, a boy named John, who lived in a small town with his mother, Elizabeth. His father, Albert, had died when John was just 6 years old. After that, Elizabeth started doing small jobs to earn a living. Now John was 11. He didn't want to add to his mother's burden. He knew she worked very hard to run the house. So when he turned 10, he started doing small jobs too. For the past year, he had been paying his own school fees. Elizabeth felt proud but also sad. He was her only son. And while other kids spent their time playing, he was busy earning. One morning, John sat at the table. Elizabeth served him toasted bread with tea. John started eating. Elizabeth looked down and sighed.
I wish I could give him some milk. Or at least an egg,
she thought. John said,
Mom, I'm getting late.
He quickly got up and went to grab his bag. But just then, one of his shoes broke. He sighed.
Oh no! I shouldn't have rushed.
Elizabeth walked over and said softly,
It's not your fault. These shoes are 2 years old.
John sat back on the chair and said,
I can't go today.
Elizabeth looked worried.
I have a little money, but it won't be enough for new shoes.
John smiled a little.
Don't worry, Mom. The shoemaker will fix it.
Elizabeth nodded and left for work. That day, John got his shoe fixed. The next day, on returning from school, he passed by his neighbor Mr. Tom's lawn. Mr. Tom was watering the plants. John called out,
Uncle! Do you have any work?
Mr. Tom knew about John's situation. He smiled and said,
Of course. I need someone to trim the plants.
John's eyes lit up.
Okay. I'll come after lunch.
Mr. Tom nodded. John ran home, quickly ate a sandwich, and went back to Mr. Tom's house. He got busy cutting the plants. Mr. Tom gave him some instructions during the work. When the work was done, Mr. Tom paid him a good amount. John smiled.
Thanks, Uncle. If you need help again, call me. And please tell others too.
Mr. Tom said.
Sure, John.
John walked home happily.
It's enough for my fee.
He thought.
I can give the rest to Mom.
Soon, the final exams were held. John got first position, just like always. But he looked worried.
How will I buy the new course books?
He thought. Elizabeth saw his face and offered him some money. But John said,
Mom, I'll manage. If I really need it, I'll ask you.
Elizabeth nodded. Later, John got an idea. He went to a boy named Mike, who was one class above him.
Mike, I want to buy your old course books.
John said.
I can pay half the price.
Mike agreed. John gave him the money, took the books, and went home. He told Elizabeth.
Mom, I bought secondhand books.
Elizabeth felt a little sad, but she smiled.
That's good. John.
John bought some notebooks and a new pair of shoes. They weren't expensive. Soon, his new classes began. One evening, while walking home, John met Mr. Tom on the way. Mr. Tom smiled and said,
Dear, I have a job offer for you. My cousin needs a salesman at his store. I told him about you. He'll pay you a good salary. You can work there after school.
He gave John the address. John said,
Uncle, you always help me so much.
Mr. Tom replied.
No need to thank me.
Then he walked ahead. The very next day, John went to the store. Mr. Simon, the owner, gave him the job. John started working there happily. One evening, John was at the store. His class teacher, Miss Sarah, walked in. She saw him and came closer.
John? You work here?
She asked. John smiled.
Yes, ma'am. I work here after school. My father passed away, and I don't want to put my school expenses on my mom.
Miss Sarah nodded quietly. Then after grocery shopping, she left the store. The next day, Miss Sarah went to the principal's office. She told him everything about John. The principal said,
All right. We'll give him a scholarship.
Sarah smiled, thanked him, and left. Later, the principal called John to his office. John walked in and said,
Sir, you called me?
The principal smiled.
Yes. Have a seat.
John sat down and looked at him. The principal spoke kindly.
John, you're a very good student. You always get top marks. So we've decided to give you a scholarship. We've started a program for our best students.
John was surprised.
Thank you, sir. This will really help us.
He went back to class with a big smile. That evening, when Elizabeth came home from work, John shared the good news. Both of them were very happy that night. Years passed. John completed his O-levels and got admission to an engineering university. He kept doing part-time jobs during his studies. Soon, he became an engineer. Elizabeth was very happy. She said,
You did this all by yourself.
John held her hands and said,
Mom, please don't say that. You were the one managing all the house expenses. I didn't want to be a burden.
He smiled and added,
I became an engineer because of you, Ma'am Sarah, and my school principal. You know, Ma'am Sarah saw me working at the store and talked to the principal for my scholarship.
Elizabeth smiled with love.
Yes, my dear. They both did so much for you.
They smiled, happy that all their struggles had brought success.